Welcome, guys, to a very special episode of KC Chase to Pennant. I'm Cristian Martinez. Here with me, as always, is my lovely co-host, Kevin O'Brien. Kevin, how you doing?
Doing good, Christian. Feels great to be here, even though it's freezing here in Kansas City. So we'll see if we have school tomorrow. But it's nice to be able to be inside and have some really awesome baseball conversation, especially with spring training on the way.
Yeah, hopefully classes get canceled because I don't want to be out there in the cold. And then our very special guest is the number 13th ranked prospect in the Royals farm system. He's an outfielder from Vanderbilt, plays a little bit of infield as well. Mr. Javier Vaz. Javi, how you doing today?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you guys? Thank you for having me on as well. It's a pleasure.
Of course, we appreciate you coming onto the show, and I'm doing pretty great except for the cold. I don't know how it is for you out there, but it
In
is
Arizona, it is beautiful, but in Huntsville, where I'm from, it's we got some snow. It's pretty cold over there.
nice. How is Arizona, by the way? Are you kind of excited for what's to come this upcoming season?
Yeah, for sure. Arizona's great. I'm just here for a mini camp. Just a winter camp. I leave actually back home tomorrow. It's been good though. Good to get out here, get in the training setting. With some teammates and everything. It's good. It's good to be out here.
Yeah, tell me a little bit about what you're doing here with the winter camps and the mini camps out there in Arizona.
Yeah, it's pretty standard. We just wake up, get a lift in. Obviously, they serve us breakfast and lunch there, and we have like training where we hit in the cages. It's pretty light. Like do our routines in the cages. We do a get good phase, like where we hit off the machine and everything. Then take ground balls, and then wrap it up with BP on the field, and then we're like done for the day. So it's been pretty smooth sailing.
Nice, nice. Now, speaking of your off-season prep, last year was your first kind of full pro season. The year prior, you debuted like a short time right after the draft. How has this year been different, if at all, with prep and focus?
I would say it's the same last off season. Well, I guess last year's off season. I was in Nashville, living in Nashville, and I just worked out at Vanderbilt the whole time. And then
Mm.
this year's same ordeal. I was working out every day at Vandy, defensive work, hitting everything, but I was taking classes, and I graduated this
Oh,
off season.
that's awesome. Congratulations.
Appreciate it.
I was going to say congrats. I have a few more semesters left here at UNKC, so I'm very close to getting to feel what it feels like for you to graduate and whatnot.
It's a
But
good feeling.
yeah, it seems yeah, for sure. Um, Now, real quick, let's transition a little bit to some of your early career stuff. Can you talk about what it's like going through these promotions, especially during the season, and what's most exciting about going to a different level, and what's the most challenging aspect, other than the change in competition?
Yeah. So when I got promoted to low A, like when I first got drafted, and like I was in the complex for like a week, and then they sent me straight to low A. So it was kind of like I got like thrown in the wolves. I didn't really know what to expect. It was just go out there and compete. Really, just try and play my best. It was low A was pretty. Low A ball was pretty like I don't want to say like primitive baseball, but like I didn't know anybody. Like everybody there was new as well. We didn't have any data. It was kind of like summer ball, where like it was like let's see what you got. Like no data or anything. But getting fast forward to the next year, like I ended up breaking camp in high A, which is great. I was happy for sure. It was definitely an adjustment from low A to high A. I would say like high A guys are obviously a little older, a little bit more polished and everything. There's still definitely some similarities, of course, in high A, but no, I was just trying to have fun, and play my best. Same ordeal, and then I ended up getting a promotion to double A, and I kind of like I was expecting a promotion like earlier in the year, but once later in the year came, like I was thinking I was gonna stay in high A, so getting a promotion was pretty surreal for me. Getting to Double A so fast, and I just knew that it's gonna feel like Friday night in an SEC game every night. You know, we facing some pretty good stuff. Definitely, I was excited though. I couldn't wait. So
Yeah, I was gonna say, who usually gives you those like promotion calls? Is that something that a coach kind of just pulls you aside and tells you, or do you get a phone call, or what
yeah,
is that like?
coach pulls me to the side and like he might like crack a joke with it or something and tell me I'm like gone. That's simple.
Man,
It's like after the game, it was like we were like playing Peoria and we played that whole series. Like I played well that series, but we were like getting smacked. So like I wasn't having the best of time. And then at the end of the week, my coach was like, "You're going up to Double A."
Wow.
so yeah, that must be exciting. You were talking about, your time at Vanderbilt, facing all this SEC competition, coming from a high, profile program like Vandy. What's something from your time there that's helped you transition to the pros, and what's something that you didn't expect that's been tougher than expected, I guess?
Definitely like the structure. Like Vandy's very like it was really high standards held there, and everything. Everything was like really like punctual, like set timeline and everything. And like obviously the intensity in training at Vanderbilt's it's really up there. It's engulfed in competition, so it's not necessarily like a feast or famine, but like you gotta come focused every single day. And I felt like that really helped me moving to the next level.
And a little bit more, are you still like in touch with some of your Vanderbilt teammates who
Oh yeah,
have gone on to the MLB or are kind of climbing up the ranks like you are?
of course. Yeah, those best friends there. Like some of my best friends go there. A lot of us went back to school this past off season, so and past semester just to get some credit hours or graduate.
Nice. And then do you guys try to give each other advice when it comes to trying to manage this life in the MLB where you're getting promotions and you're having to kind of play your way to the majors?
Right. Yeah, we all like love to chop it up about our like experiences and like everyone kind of has like similar experiences. People have different experiences and like we use everybody's knowledge and combine it together to make us all better. Kind of like an iron sharpens iron type of ordeal.
Nice.
Nice, nice. All right, Kev, I'm gonna let you take it away from here.
Yeah. So I mean, hey, thanks for kind of sharing kind of that feedback on your early career. And I think now we've looked back on your past and kind of looking forward to 2024 and beyond. I think what you bring to the table, right, as a player is, hey, I can play multiple positions. I can play infield. I can play outfield. How do the coaches and maybe the Royals player development team, how do they kind of help you in this role? Is there kind of like a clear, when you kind of go out there, is there like a clear idea of like, hey, we want you to play a certain amount of games here? Or is it really just a game by game basis based on situation?
Yeah, I think it's a game by game situation for sure. Like some days, like I would play the whole week at second just because that's like we had like outfielders that are raking, like it's basically like whatever like fits the best lineup for that day, like hitting wise or even defensively. That's usually where I'd play. Yeah.
Yeah. And how do you yourself prep for that? Especially
Yeah.
what kind of training do you do to say like, hey, I can play second base or I can play left field on any given day?
Yeah, spring training, like early in the year. I like bounce from days. Like one day I'll be infield the whole day, and I didn't play like a spring training game in like second base, and then the next day, um, I'll be in the lineup for like left field, and I'll do all my outfield reps that day for because I'm playing outfield that day. I still make sure that I always get like infield hand work in just to warm up my hands, but usually depending on the day, like that's when I'd get my whatever position I'm playing that day, I'll get my reps and put my focus into that position.
That's awesome. Is there any position you particularly like, or is it kind of just like, hey man, as long as I'm playing, I'm good?
On the field for sure. I do like playing. I like playing infield, but I love tracking it down too, and throwing somebody out from the outfield is one of the best feelings on defense, in my opinion. So
That's awesome.
I just stay on the field.
Now I see, you've talked a little bit about your time at Vandy. You're rocking your Vandy gear right now. What makes Vandy so good is like there's just a lot of players from Vandy who are in the pros, and I'm sure you have some teammates that are doing the grind in the minor leagues. What are some things that maybe like you hear about like from your teammates, who are in different orgs, and maybe how is the Royals different? Like, is it like, do you hear things that are like, yeah, like we do it a little differently? Is there anything that you feel like as a member of the Royals is a lot different than from what you hear from your teammates?
I feel like the Royals are really like personable. I feel like they really, really, not necessarily saying like other organizations don't care about their like minor league players, but I think from what I hear from my other friends and like talking about our orgs and stuff, I feel like we definitely take care of like everyone, like not necessarily like everyone's kind of treated equally and like given the same like type of treatment. Like, of course, some guys have better talent or are going to play and get more opportunities than others, but in terms of like living, eating, and all that stuff, I feel like the Royals are really consistent in making sure everyone's fine.
Wow, that's awesome to hear, because I mean that's such a big. I mean, I know we heard like during the COVID, like the Royals were one of those teams that like paid minor leaguers and things like that. I mean, that's always been a characteristic of their org, so that's kind of cool to hear about that. Kind of one thing more, just like on a just a individual skill. And last year you mentioned that you traded some swing and miss for extra power, and it was something that you were working toward. And then, when you got to AA, you slugged a bit more and performed even better at the plate. What did you maybe apply specifically to make that happen, and what was kind of that transition to AA like as well?
Yeah, in terms of like my approach and everything, like it was just trying to get that A swing off at least for 2 of my 3 swings every single at bat. Like, and not that I'm like trying to like sacrifice swing and miss, but like getting my A swing off is gonna like just inflate those swing and miss numbers. And like when I get my A swing off, I like did more damage. That
Yeah.
plain and simple. Because usually for me per se, like no matter what I do with my swing, more times than not, if I swing, like I'm probably gonna put it in play. So it's like a swing decision thing for me too. Like I gotta really hone in on like what pitch I'm hunting and what pitch like I'm gonna swing at during my at bat.
What kind of data does the coaching staff kind of present to you on that? Like, do they kind of say, hey, here are some like some of your last at bats, or so here's
Yeah.
some like heat maps, or it's like what can you maybe describe that process for maybe listeners who might not really know?
Yeah, they so they give us like a plate appearance tracker that tells us like all of our plate appearances, what pitch we got, like at whatever count, so they give us all that stuff, exit velo stuff, and they give us hard hit rate, swing and miss percentage, and your chase rate. Usually if those 3 are in the green, like you had a really solid day, and also it shows your like season percentages as with that as well. So I think that really helps me, especially like you said heat maps as well. When they show me my heat map of what like I smash, or especially like what I hit against lefties versus the righties or whatever, like, and like even like helps me on what I don't hit so well per se on my heat map. So definitely using like the plate appearance tracker and the heat maps, like let me know what I need to hunt and what I need to fix.
Nice. And then, I have just one last question, then I'll kind of pass it on to Cristian. What are kind of some of your goals personally for 2024? I mean, you made it to AA. AA is a really big level for, a baseball player, right? It's like, hey, I'm 2 levels away from the major leagues. What are some of the kind of goals you're setting for yourself in spring training, and maybe just in general for 2024?
Yeah, definitely. The biggest thing is a healthy season. Of course, I want to play as many games and be on the field as much as possible. Yeah, and another thing is like show some more power. Obviously, I'm not chasing like home runs or anything, but like chasing better swing decisions and getting my swing off better will produce those results. Definitely, stay even keeled all year with the mindset. Never try to get too high and too low, even though that's the name of the game. And just perform consistently and just have fun. Like, not trying to put a timeline on anything on when I'm trying to get to the big leagues or not. Like if I play my game play will translate. So just stay consistent.
Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate that. And I think that's a good mindset, and we'll definitely, be rooting for you on that end. So, and then I'll pass it off to Cristian for like our last part.
Yeah, so I did this with Chandler for our last episode. So I'm calling this the Immaculate Inning. It's gonna be 9 quick questions. You don't have to get into it too much, but it's just quick, just like that. It's a little thing that's fun to kind of get to know you more on a kind of fun level, more personal level.
Okay.
But your first question is, what would be your walk-on song?
My walkout song was Silent Hill by Kendrick Lamar last year.
Nice. What's your go-to bat?
I use an Old Hickory MH23 Michael Harris model, 34-inch, 32-ounce bat.
Nice. What is the toughest position to play on the field? Is it anything in the infield, outfield?
I would say the toughest position I've played in my pro career personally is shortstop. But I would think the hardest position in baseball is probably catcher.
It says here that you like to play video games. What's your favorite video game to play when you have a good time?
Call of Duty. I'm a sweat.
What's your favorite comfort food?
Ice cream.
Ice cream. You got a favorite ice cream flavor?
Chocolate chip cookie dough every time.
Nice. Mine's is cookies and cream. But
and you can't go wrong with that one either.
You can't go wrong. It's a classic. Here in at home in Raytown, there's this Chinese restaurant that somehow has the best cookies and cream ice cream. So I'm always, whenever we go, I'm always getting ice cream from there.
Is that the one near the Javy?
No, that's the one that's like near Raytown High. It's really good.
Okay.
Okay, and then what sports team would you say you're a diehard fan of?
Alabama football, Vanderbilt baseball.
Who's your favorite Alabama football player
of all time?
All time,
probably Julio.
That's a good one. Yeah, he was in college. He was incredible.
Probably Julio. More recent, probably Devontae Smith. But of all time, like in college, probably the Honey Badger.
Nice. Oh. What about in Vandy?
Vandy football?
Yeah, Vandy football, baseball, whoever.
I honestly couldn't tell you for football, but
not Jay Cutler.
My favorite baseball player that went to Vandy, Tony Kemp, Dansby. I really liked Roe Coleman when he was there. If you know that name. Yeah, those guys.
Nice. All right, and this is kind of going into teammate-wise stuff. Who would be your dream teammate, past or present?
Pastime, Ken Griffey. Present. Right. Shohei would be cool just because, like, to see that. But probably Lindor. Playing, like, second with Lindor would be cool.
Nice. What is your favorite spot to study at in Vandy?
At Vandy? I studied most of the time in my room, but if I studied on campus, it was probably in the facility. Honestly, we had plenty of quiet rooms in there.
Nice. And then what career path would you pursue if you didn't go into baseball?
After baseball, like I want to like open up my own baseball facilities and have like physical therapy in there, run that practice in there as well, and really just give back to the youth and open up like youth programs and everything.
Nice. So that's it for the Immaculate Inning. And then before we go, I do want to ask you, because again, your dad played in the MLB for quite some time. Tell me what it's like to kind of have that kind of person in your life while you're going through what he went through back in the 90s to the early 2000s.
Yeah. Obviously all my life, my dad played ball and he's been a coach as well. So baseball is he was a big influence on my baseball career. I wanted to be just like him. I remember he would have like little VHS tapes of him playing ball when he was at Bama. And I wanted to like be a Bama baseball player for the longest growing up. Like I just wanted to be like my dad. And when I started getting real serious, like he made sure that like I was the one coming to him to put in the work, and like he never like forced the game on me. He like made sure that I wanted it was like my passion.
I was gonna say, what was it like, your dad being an Alabama baseball player and then you playing for Vanderbilt? Was it kind of like, hey, you're my son, I'm gonna cheer for you? But did he ever like give you a hard time when you guys played Alabama?
No, he wanted me to go to Vandy. He wanted me to play under Tim Corbin and everything. So like Vandy was my number one spot. Like my dad wasn't going to weigh my decision to go to any college I wanted to go to. So I wanted to go to the college that was best for me, best for my education, and best for me to progress as a baseball player and for the pros. And Vandy was the best spot, no question.
Awesome.
Final question from me. What is the one saying that your dad always told you that sticks to you to this day?
Baseball wise?
Yeah, or life-wise.
Yeah,
Anything that's kind of helped you.
yeah. Baseball is just stay through the ball, stay present.
Nice. Well, Javi, we really appreciate you coming onto the show. We're very excited to see how your kind of career progresses, and we're excited to see you get called up. I mean, that's the most exciting part. Is I live 5 minutes away from the K, so hopefully, if the K is still there,
Yeah, hopefully in a couple years.
yeah, hopefully, in a couple years, I get to see you get your walk-on song. Hear that Silent Hills, and I can be like, I know him. I interviewed him. I interviewed Javi. But thank you so much, guys, for joining us for this interview. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Kev, for coming along here, and thank you, Javi, especially. Thank you for coming to the show.
Yeah, thank you guys. It was a pleasure.